Hello everyone, welcome back to another free-for-all battle for Warhammer. I am bringing the Dark Elves, facing off against High Elves, the Greenskins, and Chaos. For my army, the front line here, this is actually an increased funds, so going to have a little bit more than usual. But we have a total of 2 of the Blackguard Corsairs, just a basic mid-tier infantry that has a bonus versus other infantry units. They're pretty good. I like that they have 80 armor. We also have 2 Witch Elves, which are the units that can make units rampage if they hit them with their poisonous attacks, and also have the anti-infantry bonus and frenzy. And then we have 3 Har Ganeth Executioners holding up the middle, which are the Greatsword Infantry of the Dark Elves, and can be very brutal, especially when they have their Murderous Mastery proccing. They can be pretty good there. So that's my front line. The back line consists of 3 of the Dark Shards, the basic armor crossbow infantry crossbow range infantry of the Dark Elves, and then behind those we have 2 Dread Spears, 1 on each flank. They are just sent there to basically protect the Dark Shards against any cav attacks. We also, before we go to the air, we also have a War Hydra, the very crazy regenerating monster, cool looking, fire breathing beast of the Dark Elves, and that's my ground force. The air force is going to be a black dragon accompanying Malekith, who is also on a black dragon, so we have 3 breath weapons available to us in this one. For these spells, I took Blade Wind and Chill Wind. Yeah, they actually both are called winds. So we have those, the breath weapon, and then also the Gaze of Malice, which is another breath weapon that comes with Malekith, and I just think he's really good on a dragon. Also in the air, we have 2 additional units of Harpies back here, and their whole purpose is going to be trying to shut down artillery or weak archers. Those types of units, that's what I usually bring these Harpies for. So that is my army. Let's go to the left here. The High Elf army, their front line is made up of 4 of their basic archers, just a standard archer unit, pretty good if you need an archer unit. Not much else I can say. Behind those, we have a total of 2 units of the Swordmasters of Hoeth, and then 2 units of the White Lions. All of this is pretty good infantry, and then in the middle we have a mage with the High Lore, with I believe most of the spells that comes with that. And that is their midline. Their backline is going to be made up of a total of 4 of the basic spearmen, 2 on this flank, 2 on that flank, and then 2 of the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. Then the leadership of Tyrion is going to be hanging out with 2 Dragon Princes here in the back. Dragon Princes, I mean, they're really good on the charge with an 80 charge bonus, but I don't think they're worth the cost that they are. I feel like maybe they're so expensive because they have such a high fire resistance, maybe. I just don't think they're super great for how expensive they are. Like, they can kill people, don't get me wrong. It's just, I feel like they should be cheaper for what you kind of get for them. But anyway, Tyrion is leading those 2 units over there. We have 1 more High Elf unit over here with the Illyrian Reaver Archer Vanguard deployed. This is the unit that can make a pretty good light cav unit if you need them, but also they are an archer unit on top of that. So that is the High Elf army. For the Greenskin army, we actually have a Vanguard force deployed here with 4 Night Goblins. I think these are the Fanatic version. Yeah, because they all have these spinning loons, and as you can see here, they also have expendable, which is a nice trait for these goblins to have. So yeah, all of these are the Fanatic version, which I think is 50 more than the normal unit, which is useful and good if you can make sure to use the spinning loon attacks, of which they have 3. They're actually really good. Like, the spinning loons are pretty good. It's just I never remember to use them in a battle, so I don't usually bring the Fanatic version of the Night Goblins. Behind those, we have the Durusty Arrows, the renowned unit for the Night Goblin Archer, which does armor piercing. I'm sorry, not armor piercing damage. Technically, it lowers armor of any unit that it hits. Sorry, it's not armor piercing. But their melee attacks still do have poison, which all Night Goblins have poison on their blades as well. It is accompanied by 2 additional Night Goblin Archers, which have poison range attacks. So it's a pretty deadly Gobbo Archer squad here. For the main force, they are being led by Skarsnik, which is the Night Goblin leader, accompanying with his trusty... Gobbler. Sorry, Gobbler is the name of this pet that rolls with him. So Skarsnik is a poison weapon, decent melee Night Goblin leader with a okay weapon strength, but his main big thing is going to be that he has a bonus versus large, which is pretty cool considering that he is such a tiny little gobbo. I think Skarsnik is pretty good. The poison attacks definitely help him against other lords, but he's still not going to be duking it out 1v1 with other greats like melee lords of the game. But he's still not bad. The other leadership is going to be an Orc Shaman mounted on a boar, which I think is the good call there. With the spells of Foot of Gork, here we go. Headbutt, I believe? Yeah, I actually have not used Headbutt yet. I should probably give that a shot. Then we also have Fist of Gork, which is the very powerful melee buff of The green skins there you can see for 29 seconds, which is totally not bad. For the special items, this thing I believe was changed. In Warhammer 1, I don't remember this having Discourage on the item. Maybe it did, and I'm just misremembering, but I think this is changed by adding the Discourage, which is great. Minus 16 leadership for any unit that this thing hits when this buff is active, because it is an activated ability. It is pretty neat. And then they also brought Scroll of Shielding, which is a one-time use damage resistance of 22%, so that's also not bad because it's really cheap. Behind the leadership, we have the Skirmish Cav here, the Death Creepers, the renowned unit that is Vanguard possibly deployed, Stalking, Regenerating, of which they don't, Greenskins don't have many regenerating units, especially fast ones, so that's kind of unique for them. Poison Dealers, they're pretty good, I guess. Death Creepers, honestly, I don't really use them too much because of these units. The Morgrub's Mangy Marauders are another Skirmish Cav, but they are focused on armor-piercing damage, and in most cases, armor-piercing is what you always kind of want. Death Creepers definitely do have a role, but I usually always end up getting the Mangy Marauders if I go with a Skirmish Cav on Greenskins, which is not very often. But this player opted to take both of the renowned units of the Skirmishers. Behind them, we have a solid line of 4 Orc Boys that have been upgraded, so they have decent melee stats. They have really good weapon strength for a unit that costs their price, and a really good charge bonus as well. I believe they can beat, I think they can beat like standard Empire infantry in melee, even without the upgrades. I think they can because their weapon strength overwhelms them. I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Then over here we have another renowned unit, the Thief Robbers, the Goblin Wolf Chariot, which is a ranged and also melee focused chariot if you want it to be. I don't like the Goblin Wolf Chariots. I just don't think they have enough mass to them to really be an excellent chariot. They're really good against other small units because they have enough mass to pierce through like other Gobos and maybe probably Skinks as well, because Skinks are pretty small. But in terms of like bigger units, like even Dwarves who are very kind of hardy and massy, the Thief Robbers don't really do well in my tests, at least in Warhammer 1. Maybe they got a buff in Warhammer 2, I just don't know about it. But besides that, they are a high missile damage unit with a ton of ammunition, but don't let that... Like, I feel the missile damage... Where can we get... Where's the... Show me the Thief Robbers? Well, anyway, there are only a couple archers in the unit. So you see missile damage 105, you're like, holy crap, that's insane. Not really, because there's only a couple archers actually firing at a time. So it's actually not that high. But, you know, test it for yourself, see if you like Thief Robbers. I never really like the Goblin Wolf Chariots, but they have one of those. Then we have 2 Black Orcs back here, one of the basic Black Orc, and then the renowned version, the Crimson Killers, which do look awesome, but at least in Warhammer 1 in practice, they didn't fare well enough for the price. I don't know if they're a little different here or not, but in theory, they can do a ton of damage because I believe their attacks are splash damage. At least this is what this leads to me to believe. I have not done a test to see if specifically if they are splash damage because I honestly didn't use them that much. And if they are not splash damage, let me know in the comment section, but I believe they are. At least that's what this leads me to believe, which is pretty cool. Splash damaging armor piercing is neat. Then behind those, we have the Arachnoid Queen, which is the spider beast. Still one of the best monstrous units in the game. This one can also summon little spiderlings, up to 5 charges. And the spiderling unit also comes with poison melee damage, and they're very fast, so they're really good at locking down units for a little while, or supporting your fight with... a very fast-moving, poison-wielding spider unit. That's free, because you just summon them from this Arachnoid Queen. I think the Arachnoid Queen is just one of the coolest units in the game, one of the best ones in the game. And I think pretty standard for a lot of greenskin armies, because it's just... it can fit in so many different armies. It's just a nice centerpiece, I guess. I don't know. So that is going to be the green skin army. And then the Chaos army over here has a nice little defensive formation. Off on the wings, we have 4 of the Marauder Horsemasters. There are 3 horsemen. This is going to be the best one of the 3 with the highest missile damage of their 37. As you can see there, they're really fast. And they also make for decent light cav if you need them to be. And I mean like really light cav. Like you want to charge them into basic archers, not Lothran Seaguard. Like basic archers, those type of units. Maybe rear charges here and there they can pull off as well, as long as you kind of get them out of combat, because they're not really tanky, so beware. But you can use them for rear charges and killing light skirmishing units, and then also their missile damage is really good. I once used, I think it was 3 Horsemasters and Big Bird, what's his actual name? I always just call him Big Bird. Sartorial, because he has the metal lore and he can weaken a unit's armor by up to, it was at 60 with the upgraded. So I remember just like sniping Gorbals by hitting them with the Plague of Rust from Sartorial and then getting 3 Horsemasters with their high missile damage and just murdering Gorbals. It's really fun to do if you want to try it out. Anyway, so we got 4 of those. Then over here we have a total of 5 Chaos Warriors here, and there. The Chaos Warriors are the basic mid-tier infantry that are shielded with a really good shield, really good armor, and these ones have been upgraded so that their melee stats are adjusted a little bit, so they have a 50 melee defense, which is really good. 50 melee defense is great. And a 36 weapon strength. Honestly, I never bring the Chaos Warrior, the basic one, just because I love their great weapon version more. It has more killing power, but these definitely do have a lot more holding power if you need that. Behind those, we have one group of Forsaken, which is the insane damage wielding, decently armored, and super fast, nice like flanking unit of the Chaos. The Forsaken are very scary, and if you don't deal with them, they will be on your skirmishers super quick, and they will destroy any skirmishing unit. Hold on. Well, it'll take them a little bit longer to kill like Dowie skirmisher units because they're high armor. But most skirmishing units in the game, the Forsaken, if they get their hands on them, they're toast. Because, I mean, just look at their stats. Look at that weapon strength. It's insane. It's insane. Forsaken are so cool. Then behind those, we have two Chaos Warriors with halberds. So these are the mid-tier halberd infantry that focus on anti-large and armor piercing. Not much else to be said about that. And then we have a group of Chosen in the back. The basic group of Chosen, which are even more durable than the Chaos Warriors. And again, they're just kind of meant there to hold. They have a decent weapon strength, but they are... I think they're more expensive than the Iron Breakers of the Dowie, and they're not as good. So I never really bring Chosen that much, but here is the basic version of them. They look awesome in that heavy armor. Up in the air, we do have an Exalted Hero mounted on a Manticore. I don't think the Exalted Hero has changed much. I think all their items are basically the same, including this Mark of Corn. And I don't think they actually brought the other unique item that they come with, or that could potentially come with. But an Exalted Hero on a Manticore is a scary thing. Manticores, in general, are just very scary because they can land anywhere and they can disrupt your army, and they definitely have a use in Chaos armies. I don't typically put Exalted Heroes on them, but they're definitely so good with an Exalted Hero on top of them. Then the rest of the leadership here is going to be a Chaos Sorcerer of Death with just the Son of Xerius? Purple Son of Xerius. I never use a spell, but it is a Vortex spell. I can't really say much about it if it's changed too much in this. I'm assuming it's been made slower, like most Vortex spells, but it's still super expensive, and it has a potential of not doing what you want it to do. But that is the one spell that this Chaos Sorcerer mounted on a horse did take. Other leadership is going to be led by Prince Sigvald the Magnificent. This is the one leader that has no mount options. Oh, I guess Arthuriel doesn't have any mount options, but he has wings, and he's pretty fast. I also Kolek, but again, he's very fast. Anyway, Prince Sigvald the Magnificent, he is a decent melee combatant, especially because he can grab this item, the Auric Armor, which grants him regeneration, which is nice. A thing that not really Chaos has much of besides the Trolls. So that's neat. But since he doesn't have any mount, he's very slow, and also I don't think he really does much splash damage. That's why he is considered a duelist, because he is meant to really do like 1v1s. He's not bad. I like bringing him just because Sigvald is cool, but in terms of like strength of lords, he's probably one of the weakest. In fact, like the Chaos Lord is probably stronger, the generic one, simply because he can be mounted on a Manticore, horse, or dragon. I think he mounts on a dragon. So yeah, he's probably the weakest one, but he's still cool. He loves himself. I think that's all you need to say about Prince Sigvald. And then to round it up, we do have one single Hell Cannon manned by the Chaos Dwarves. Very strong artillery piece. If you don't shut it down quick, it can rip your army to shreds. And that is the... Oh, sorry, also Chaos Marauder. They're so bad that I forgot to mention them. Here's a Chaos Marauder right there. They are standard infantry. They're not that great. So that is the Chaos Battle, or the Chaos Army. Let's jump into the fight. So, looking at these armies, it's going to take me a moment to move this time because I'm actually studying the High Elf and the Chaos formations, trying to judge which one I want to go after, and I'm going to decide to go after the Chaos Army. With my front line and with our 3 Executioner groups right here, with our 2 Dragons, with our Hydra, and with our Harpies to shut down the Hell Cannon, I feel like I have a really good build to take out the army that the Chaos brought. Because I was expecting them to bring like Kolek Sun Eater and some of their Shaggoths, but there are no Shaggoths here to take out my Dragons and my War Hydra, so I'm like, well, let's just go over here. There's just a bunch of armor that we can shoot through with our breath weapons. Meanwhile, the Chaos player is going to advance with their Horse Masters and discover the Vanguard force of the Night Goblins. And they're going to lose this fight because there's so much skirmishing power right here. So they're just going to be pummeled. Even though they have high missile damage, it's still just a skirmishing cav. And in almost all cases, skirmishing cav will lose in a straight up fight against infantry ranged units. Just because they have more, they're more accurate. And so you can see that's exactly what happened here. They lost the initial engagement, so they're going to be pulling back. Meanwhile, I'm going to be coming up here with my 2 Dragons and start breathing on these Chaos Warriors. I haven't done too many tests with the breath weapons yet, so I'm testing it against the Chaos Warrior. It did really good damage, 50% off of 1 breath weapon, in which you have 3 charges. And then I'm going to test this against a single target. Not nearly as good. Still does some damage, but clearly the Black Dragon is made to kill groups of people and not single targets. I believe one of the dragons of the High Elves do really good single target damage. I don't remember which one it is. Star Dragon, maybe? So the Exalted Hero over here comes out and is like, yo, let's fight. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's fight. So we're going to start charging him. And then the Exalted Hero is going to be like, oh, wait, no, this is a bad idea, and start flying off. I'm like, yeah, that's a good call. So right now I'm just trying to harass this Chaos Force, which really can't fight me because all of its ranged units are over here dealing with the Greenskins who are advancing on their position. So I'm just kind of free to cast spells down here, use breath weapons, whatever I want, as I move my army over here because the plan is to line up and then go at them. I feel kind of bad for them because the Greenskins are also charging at them as well. But this is around the time when I noticed that the High Elves are marching towards my backside. So we have the Dragon Princess Tyrion moving into this forest here, and obviously their army is going this way. So I'm like, well, I do want to engage against the Chaos, but if I do, I'm going to get hit by the side and the rear from the High Elves. So I'm like, well, we did some damage to Chaos. They now have to fight against the Greenskins. Oh, there goes the Purple Sun Azarius. It looks like it maybe did some damage to those Night Goblins. Okay, that wasn't bad. But you see their Chaos Warriors are going to be going off to try and hold back these Night Gobbos and the Orc Boys that are going to be coming out of the forest, as the Hellkin is going to try and support them the best it can with its shells. Meanwhile, I'm now saying, let's remove. And so now we're removing the army to do a line like this, pushing out the Dragon Princess, and now we're going to start harassing the archers with Malekith. There goes his basic breath weapon with the Gaze of Malice, I think. And then here goes one of our Blade Winds, doing a lot of good damage to those archers. Again, I'm trying to take them out first. We're eventually going to get our Harpies to fly over the army and try and silence the artillery of the High Elves as well. And right now, again, I'm just kind of using our abilities to try and buy time for my army to get into a nice position in this forest to strike from. You see we have a couple lagging units there. Meanwhile, the Chaos Warriors doing a really good job against the Orc Boys up here because the Chaos Warriors just outclass Orc Boys, just hands down. They are super tanky, and the Orc Boys cannot take the high armor and high melee defense of the Chaos Warriors. So they're doing really good there. Unfortunately, this hill is actually going to be blocking a few shots throughout this battle, I believe. So we go back to our fight here. So you can see that the High Elf army is actually split. I think the enemy player was thinking I was going to land on the archers with my dragons, so they're keeping a lot of infantry nearby to support if that happens, but I'm not. I'm just flying above them to try and cast spells. So now half their army is kind of down here. We're trying to shut down these Dragon Princes, and now this is when our Murderous Prowess is going to proc. So we're going to be able to do a lot of good damage to the Dragon Princess here, but getting them enraged because of our Witch Elves that are fighting them in melee. Going to support this fight also with the Dragon because we need to try and kill these Sword Masters of Hoeth. My 3 Dark Shards are going to be firing on the Sword Masters and then also on the Dragon Princess. Meanwhile, this Dragon Princess is being held together by my War Hydra, but they're actually going to pull out and try and get my Dark Shards. Over here, my Harpies do get caught by the anti-air spell of the High Lore of the Mages, of the High Elves, I should say. And that actually totally wrecks my Harpy group. So one Harpy group is down, but this other one made it. So now we're doing a lot of good damage to the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. Malekith is down here doing a lot of good damage to the White Lions, who are being fought against with my Witch Elves. And I think my Corsairs are over here as well. Yeah, one of my Corsairs are over here. So we have some armor-piercing damage in there, so I feel pretty good about that fight. Down here, we've done a lot of good damage to one of the Sword Masters of Hoeth. This Dragon Prince I've had to slow down with Malekith, because they did manage to get into my Dark Shards, who were fighting in the forest, so they are at a disadvantage because they're a large creature. We're going to try and pin them in place with their Dread Spears and get our Black Dragon over there, because when you have flying units, the good thing about flying units is that they can react and respond to any part of the battlefield pretty quickly. It's one of their biggest strengths, so that's exactly what we're doing. We're putting Malekith and the other Black Dragon down here and just shutting down these Dragon Princes once and for all. Meanwhile, I'm going to forget my War Hydra down here, so let's just don't worry about it. Don't worry about what's going on over there. Meanwhile, over here, though, the Chaos line, tanky at first, is starting to buckle under the weight of the Black Orcs, Crimson Killers, and I think the Orc Shaman has casted a couple spells at this point. And again, this hill was blocking a lot of shots, so it forced the Hellkin to move up here. And now, for some reason, the Hellkin is looking my way, but I don't think it actually ever fires at me. Maybe it fires to the High Elf at one point, but yeah, it's facing this direction and not doing anything right now, which is kind of weird. Meanwhile, the Horse Masters are doing what they can, doing a lot of good flanking damage here, and this is just a melee brawl. Not much else is going on, but the Ragnarok Queen over there is going to just do so much damage to all those Chaos Warriors who can't really stand up to her armor-piercing damage. Over here, we did rout those Dragon Princes, so now the Dark Shards are back at it, trying to support our frontline fight against these Sword Masters of Hoeth. Malekith is back here rerouting all of the archers, along with the help of the Harpies, who routed off those 2 artillery pieces back there. And now here comes the Black Dragon to once again support this fight against the Sword Masters, because we need more armor-piercing damage in here, and that's exactly what the Black Dragon can do. At this point, we've also used a couple more of our breath weapon charges, trying to get a War Hydra up here as well, and then we're going to intercept these Dragon Princes with the War Hydra, because I finally remembered I had a War Hydra, and then I'm going to forget about it again after I gave an attack order of the Dragon Princes. And again, the Dark Shards are now back here in safety. We're protecting them with our Dread Spears now, trying to be more active about the protection. I think I'll throw these Witch Elves into this fight here pretty soon. And our Executioners, what is left of them, is doing a really good job wrapping up the High Elf Infantry being supported by the Black Dragon, who's doing a lot of good damage to Tyrion. We are going to get some damage here from the Mage of the High Lore pretty soon. They're finally going to get into this battle. But we have done a lot of good damage to the High Elves at this point. Oh, there we go. I guess it was firing over here. What are you firing at? I don't remember you shooting me at all. I'm just watching the shot. Oh, okay. I think they manually fired, but we're out of their range. So that's a good spell there. I was trying to, at last minute, move my Dark Shards, but we did get hit by that Phoenix spell, which is unfortunate. The War Hydra, this is what happens. The War Hydra chases these units off way down here, and then I forget about it for a bit. Malekith, though, and my other Black Dragon are going to leave the front lines to try and destroy this High Mage before I can do any more damage to our forces, because I believe that our Executioners can wrap up what is left of the High Elf front line supported by the Dark Shards back here, which we still have 3 units, although they are damaged. Meanwhile, back here, the Chaos Warriors, again, are slowly dying to the Ragnarok Queen's massive armor-piercing damage supported by the Night Goblins to kind of take some of the damage away from the Ragnarok Queen and also poison the enemy's front line with their poison attacks, which lowers almost all their stats by a significant amount. Poison is really good. So yeah, the Chaos Warrior line is slowly crumbling. The Crimson Killers have, I think, done a lot of good damage at this point. Yeah, they have 100 kills. A lot of those against Marauders and Chaos Warriors. Now they're doing a lot of good damage to the Chaos Sorcerer. Sigvald at this point, is he even still alive? I think he's still alive, buried in here somewhere, maybe? Maybe not? Maybe not. Not entirely sure. But anyway, over here, we have routed off the Mage of the High Lore. Our Harpies have assisted our War Hydra in wrapping up the rest of the White Lions. And at this point, this player is going to leave the game. So they are now gone for good. So now I'm going to get our forces, regroup up here, and charge towards this Hell Cannon, which is getting ever closer to my army. And I'm going to fly ahead with our Harpy and our Dragons before the Hell Cannon can do anything to me. But I guess it's turned its attention back to the Greenskins, doing a nice shot into these Crimson Killers who are wrapping up what remains of the Chaos Warriors on that flank. Not many Chaos Warriors over here as well, and the Ragnarok Queen is still going to town now on the Exalted Hero, and what Chaos Warriors remain over here supported by their leadership of Skarsnik, doing a lot of good damage to the Exalted Hero because they are armor-piercing, they are also anti-large, and now they have the wall cast on them, so they're going to be hitting a lot, and you can see that's going to wrap up the Exalted Hero, and there he goes, he is now dead. Down here, the Thief Robbers doing a lot of good, I guess, good damage to the Marauder Horsemasters in melee. Kind of odd. There goes our Harpies. Over here, the Chaos Sorcerer came over and cast a Dark Sun of Xarius, which I dodged, so no problem there. Harpy's now disrupting the Hell Cannon, again getting our Dragons over here. And, yeah, what about my Hydra? Well... So yeah, we're advancing on the Hell Cannon. Just in time, too, because the Chaos Warriors are all but wiped out at this point. Chaos Sorcerer decides to fight against these Night Goblins and the Black Orcs instead of facing off against Malekith. I don't know. Either way, you're going to have a bad day there. I think up here I'm going to cast a Blade Wind or a Breath Weapon. I can't remember. Blade Wind. Because I still have some decent amount of winds of magic left. Doesn't really do too much against the Black Orcs. I was hoping to get more damage on the Night Gobos. We've taken out the Hell Cannon, and now we're just going to have to line up, protect our Dark Shards, because they still have a decent amount of ammunition. The other one's coming up here. And as long as we can keep the Dark Shards alive, I know that we can most likely win this battle. Even though right now, we are neck and neck against the Greenskins. But we have a bunch of armor-piercing ranged units that can easily take out the Ragnarok, their leadership, and anything else they need them to take out, like the Black Orcs and the Crimson Killers. So I'm just going to fall back here, out of range of the Thief Robbers, and we're just going to, again, stand in front of our Dark Shards and let them do the damage. So right now they're going to be focusing on the Black Orcs. Yeah, they should be focusing on the Black Orcs. We're going to absorb this charge of the Spiraling Hatching and easily dispatch them. And now we're going to switch our Dark Shard targets to the Ragnarok Queen, trying to slow down the Night Goblins there. We're actually going to be able to rout them off with that spell, and with the assistance of the Dread Spears. Landing on the Ragnarok Queen, trying to do some more damage to her. This is a mistake, so I think I pull out pretty quickly, because now I'm in between my Dark Shards and the Ragnarok Queen, so this dragon gets shot in the back a lot, so we're just going to go over here and finish off the Black Orcs instead. Meanwhile, the Ragnarok Queen going to take massive amount of damage here. They should be just charging forward right into the Dark Shards, but they it's a little too late now. There go the Harpies to try and stop the Thief Robbers from doing their charge, but we don't actually manage to stop them, really. But that's okay, we are wrapping up the Black Orcs with our Executioners and the Black Dragon. We're now going to pounce on Skarsnik with our... I think our Executioners is what I tried to do. Also going to focus them down with the Dark Shards, doing a lot of good damage there. We have already routed and killed the Ragnarok Queen. And now we're going to do a good amount of damage to Skarsnik, and I think we either rout him or we kill him. I can't remember which. We do have some Death Creepers down here, but I'm just going to ignore them because I see that they're almost out of ammunition. What's up? What was that? What's up with the Hydra? Yeah, you know, he's eating some corpses back there. Don't worry about him. But there we go. We're going to route Skarsnik, and that's going to do a chain route to most of the forces that they have remaining. I think the Crimson Killers stick around for a little while, so we're going to have to focus down with the Dark Shards next. And there we go. Skarsnik is now dead under the weight of the Black Dragon and Malekith. And they are going to be routing here soon. I think I'm sending my Harpies over there to deal with the Death Creepers who are now out of ammunition. And yeah, the Crimson Killers don't have much of a chance in this matchup. The armor-piercing crossbows of the Dark Shards are just too much. And that is going to be a GG for the Dark Elves. So a good game to Bwop Bweep, Cammy Macho, and Pete. Malekith netting 200 kills is pretty good. Again, I think he's one of the most dangerous lords in the game now, because he's really good spells. He has that great breath weapon, the Gaze of Malice, on a dragon with a breath weapon is insane. And so Malekith is just really good. On a dragon specifically. Off a dragon, I mean, he's still decent, but on a dragon, he's a beast. Just a beast. My front line, I feel, did pretty good. One of the Harpies that didn't get caught in that anti-air spell managed to do pretty good throughout the rest of the battle. Hydra netted, 22 kills. I didn't use their breath weapon once. I was too focused on the two Black Dragons, moving them here and there. And, yeah, I forgot about the War Hydra, but, that's okay. Let's go watch a cinematic view, everybody. I do like Horse Masters. It's just this is a bad spot for them to fight in. I like the mass casting of the loons. Also, that was pretty good. The amount of damage that breath weapon did, my god. I mean, dragons are actually scary now instead of just being a joke like they were in the first game, which I love. Dragons are to be feared. Finally. Like, whenever you saw dragons for the most part in the Total War Warhammer 1, you're just like, alright, that's a waste of money. Not anymore! Oh.
Hear my words. Moving out.
I believe I'm trying to do breath weapons here. There they go.
Death awaits. They shall suffer. Annihilate them. Carnage calls. Hear my words.
Oh.
Fear my
So cool.
wrath. all. Annihilate them.
For the king! Blood will flow!
Without the charge bonus, those Dragon Princes are just not that amazing.
Destroy!
Death awaits. Forward.
They just don't really have much going for them.
Advancing.
On to slaughter!
They shall suffer. Moving on. Forward.
Going! Carnage awaits! Forward! Battle calls!
Crash them. Jurist.
Forward!
Such a beast! I love the queen. Oh, this thing on. Hey.
Destruction. Onward. I am dead.
Everything!
Glorious carnage.
Well, here lies Prince Sigvald.
Death awaits! Onward! Moving out! Forward! Malekith comes! I am death! Glorious carnage! Carnage! I depart!
Carnage awaits! Going! No mercy! Death is coming! Onward!
Destruction awaits!
Destroy!
Forward! Carnage full! Advancing! Malekith comes! All shall die!
No mercy! Death is coming! Onwards to murder!
Suffering for all!
No survivors!
Destruction awaits!
To destruction!
Onward! Destroy!
End them! By Dracula!
Jeez.
Glorious carnage!
Back! Onward! With pleasure!
Farewell, Skarsnik.
Advancing!
Carnage awaits!
There we go. Hope you enjoyed the battle, everybody. I will see you all next time. Take care.